What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with this upcoming week, a couple things to note. You have a lot of Fed speakers, Powell one of them on Tuesday. And then aside from that, you do have on Wednesday, right here, the FOMC meeting minutes. So that comes out at 2 o'clock. So this is a very unique circumstance because the market's going to have a day and a bit to kind of digest that, because the market does close at 1 o'clock early on Wednesday, and then it is closed on Thursday due to Independence Day. So happy 4th of July, everyone, all the Americans out there. So it's going to be a unique circumstance that the market's going to have time to digest exactly what is being said, because last FOMC meeting minutes, it prompted a very significant pullback in the broader market. So yeah, definitely it's going to be a fun time for that. And then aside from that, a lot of consumer linked data points. So you do have right here on Wednesday as well. So Wednesday is going to be a fun day, but ADP, non-farm employment, and then on Friday, non-farm payroll. So yeah, it's going to be a crazy roller coaster, because everything that I just mentioned has the ability to really cause a lot of volatility, as well at the same time, everything that I did mention is going to correlate instantly to interest rate cuts, or possibly worst case scenario hikes, because the last FOMC meeting minutes did allude to rate hikes, as backwards as that is. But nonetheless, currently 57.9% of a likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, and that is during the September 18th meeting. So no real change since last time I kind of brought that up, but anticipate this to move quite viciously in either direction, depending on the data points for this upcoming week. Nothing specific to SoFi for this week though, so no conferences, no fireside chats, nothing like that. So it is just going to be piggybacking off of the broader market, as well as its own technicals. So that could really help, because SoFi's technicals are starting to look a little bit more optimistic. You do also have at the same time shorts starting to double down on, I guess, the level of fear in the broader market. On Friday, shorts did increase 1.81 million shares. 18.56% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 192.67 million shares overall are being shorted, and that equates to $1.25 billion. So very high stuff for that. But nonetheless, with everything that I just mentioned for this upcoming week, anticipate shorts to kind of pounce. One bullish / bearish, depending on how you see it, the situation that did happen was this. So Cramer just brought this up, and I wanted to kind of talk on this because I don't know inverse Cramer is going to happen, or if people are actually going to take what he says for face value. So I'm just going to quickly play this. It's only 37 seconds, but yeah, it's always a fun time with Cramer.
Jimmy, chill. Long time, first time, my man.
Chill's in the house. What's happening?
All right, so I've been in this stock since 2022. I'm up around 50%. It's a fintech. It's SoFi. Where do you see SoFi going long term?
SoFi so bad, frankly. I have begun to, I have become to, let's just say, not be as big a fan of SoFi, because it's just something that just happened to me. I like stocks that go higher. I can't explain it. Maybe it's because I like to help you make money. Let's go to Frank and...
So yeah, there you have it. I don't know if inverse is going to happen, like I said, because in theory that should give some validity to SoFi going higher, but you also do start to see some articles randomly from Investor Place, so take that with a grain of salt. They're not the most credible source, but it says why Jim Cramer's right to wait on SoFi. Says that this individual has been previously a bull, and I think just a lot of people are very just tired of SoFi not really doing all that much price action wise. And like I've said, like technically people are just so focused on the stock price, same as when I do my daily videos. It's clearly correlated with the day-to-day stock price, but there is the difference between what is happening operationally and the stock price. So I think just people need to realize that. So in my opinion, I think inverse is going to happen, and potentially this might actually push SoFi to that $7 range in the short term. So hopefully, thank you, good old Jim Cramer. So aside from all of that fun stuff, looking right here, so with SoFi, successfully closing above 650. Looking at the open interest, you should see market makers on Monday, so whether it be pre-market or during the trading day, instantly buying 3.7 million shares to cover that 37,000 in open interest. So that should be relatively positive if you ask me. So first thing, you should see a very nice spike up. Whether it sticks or not will be all dependent on what larger institutions are doing. There was quite a lot of big money buying on Friday after hours, and this was as ETFs and institutions are rebalancing their portfolios. So you had a couple big ones, 28.2, 1.5, 2.6, but this is very, very abnormal. Don't anticipate this to kind of roll over into next week, as most likely, based on the volume, all the institutions kind of rebalanced last week. So again, kind of the volume might go down a little bit lower than what it was this week. But still, needless to say, I think SoFi, based on the technicals, are at least moving in the higher or upward direction. And the fact that they actually did, for the first time in almost like 3 months, whenever there was it close to a strike price, like they actually did close above it. So I think that was deserving of a round of applause. You can tell based on the intraday though that shorts were really trying to bring it below that 650. As I said in my kind of dedicated SoFi video at the time, that I was worried. I'm like, these guys are running for it. These guys are trying, but luckily enough, there was a significant amount of buying that did happen during there. But some points to watch for right now with it at $6.61. Just watch for this S2 to hold. And so that's been somewhat the saving grace a little bit for SoFi. So $6.45 is going to be that next strong support. And on the flip side, $6.69 is going to be that next strong resistance / target for SoFi. I'll just bring this up. A lot of people do like the Elliott Wave technicals, and they are kind of pointing for lower lows to happen with SoFi. Kind of significant if you ask me. So it does have a pivot point of $6.83. So for as long as SoFi is below that, then it is anticipated to get kind of to the mid to high fives. So I don't anticipate this to happen. I think in reality, a lot of negatives all have to occur at the same time in order for SoFi to get back to the fives. But then again, I just wanted to bring this up because a lot of people do really like the Elliott Wave technicals. Over and above that, latest Morningstar report still does show fair market value being $13 for SoFi. And so that's based on the assets. So that hasn't really changed over the last several reports. So I don't know what's up with that, but again, I just wanted to bring that up. And as of tomorrow, Q2 numbers are officially locked in. So I'll do a video this upcoming week on some analyst expectations, so such as earnings per share, revenue, other key metrics that investors generally care about. So stay tuned for that video coming out later this week. But on the actual chart itself, so you do see that it's been building up a lot of good momentum, and most likely early next week, you are going to see it try to transition into the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, and then potentially even that 50-day moving average. So it might be wedged bound between that 50-day moving average and that $7 price right here, because that $7 price is going to be correlated with this. So I wouldn't anticipate shorts to let SoFi just freely run up as they see fit, because yeah, I think already there's 13,000 at that $7 strike price. So that's going to be a very strong resistance level. And even right now, 9,000 at that 650 strike price. So I don't know. SoFi hopefully will continue this positive momentum and not look sub 650 again, but still just take note of some of these strong support and resistance points. And then looking at stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation. So white line above the red, very, very minor, but at the same time, it is at 23. So arguably still somewhat oversold, kind of borderline for that. A number of retail investors were getting in on SoFi on Friday. So I think overall pretty fun and exciting times might be ahead for SoFi, but like I said, there's a hell of a lot of things coming out this week. Even though it's kind of a shorter week, there's a lot of things that could disrupt and shake up the broader market, and as a byproduct, really push SoFi in either direction. So it's going to be a lot of volatility, and as I've said in the past, whenever there is a very volatile stock, take advantage and do options. So I vaguely did mention this in the past. If you do really like a stock, not necessarily just SoFi, but any stock, just sell puts. Very advantageous. let's say you're going to buy SoFi at 650 regardless, well, might as well just sell a 650 put. If it closes below that, then you buy it at 650. If it closes above that by the Friday or your expiry date, you get to keep the premium. It's a win-win. I feel like a lot of people don't really utilize that as much as they should. But then again, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do whatever floats your boat. So hopefully everyone has or is having a good weekend thus far. Happy Canada Day tomorrow, and then happy 4th of July, clearly on Thursday, to all the Americans out there. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.